This PowerPoint augments a paper written by Dr. Viki Thompson Wylder at the Florida State University Museum of Fine Arts and Dr. Marcia Meale from the Ruediger Elementary School in Tallahassee, Florida, USA. The Story Project, a model for achieving profound inclusion in museums, was a grassroots engendered program undertaken by the museum and the Leon County Schools in Tallahassee, Florida. The story utilized a constructivist approach, which meant that the museum acted as a facilitator, not an authority. It also meant that the project utilized multiple voices and viewpoints. So, 18 teachers from the Leon County school system, a co-coordinator of a community college gallery, and an FSU student joined the staff of the museum to become a curatorial team for the story exhibition. Eventually, this project included 25 schools, over 700 K through 12 exhibitors, other community organizations, 24 artists, and the 6 staff members of the museum, as well as approximately 30 university students. The 18 curatorial members of the Story Project came from 6 elementary schools, 4 middle schools, 2 high schools, and 1 K through 12. Here you see the primary committee members and the participating schools for this project. 11 were public institutions, 1 was a private Catholic school, and 1 was a developmental school associated with the University for Educational Research. Most of these teachers for the core team were art teachers, but 2 taught English for speakers of other languages. Then in the last year of the project, 12 additional schools signed on. Here is the timeline for the story, which was a 3-year project beginning in the summer of 2005, going through the spring of 2008. You'll notice in the timeline that the teachers were the curatorial team. They met monthly for a period of time, selected the works, and then planned artist visits and activities. During the curatorial process, teachers looked for works with a narrative quality, those that would be good for curriculum development, those that would be good for state visual arts standards, school goals, learner characteristics, and community resources. They also looked for work by artists who could be counted on to interact with schools later. In the second year of the project, each teacher picked 1 or 2 artists to adopt, those that they would contact and plan with. While attending a conference in New York City, several teachers pursued pieces by Faith Ringgold, going to ACA galleries and talking with the gallery owner. Part of the adoption process included a commitment by each teacher to write a lesson plan on her artist's work for a teacher's exhibition packet, and also author the adopted artist's biographical entry for the catalog. A structure for the layout of the catalog pages and the text of the biographies was determined. Each page featured 1 artist and included a large image of the artist's work, a smaller image of the artist, and a very brief biography. Each biographical entry loosely followed the format and parts of a story: character, setting, events, challenges, climax, and resolution. During the last year of the project, most of these professional artists became K through 12 educators, interacting electronically or visiting public schools. Of the 24 artists in the exhibition, 16 agreed to meet with students in the school system. On the left, you see the award-winning author-illustrator Adrienne Fogelin, who visited 4 schools, sometimes presenting to entire grade levels. She began as an illustrator for the Baltimore Zoo. Ms. Fogelin engaged students in creating characters for a story through a question and response technique. Mark Fletcher, who you see on the right with students, worked closely with the art and writing teachers at an elementary school to take 4th graders on a field trip to a state park to introduce them to his nature-based mode of writing and illustrating poetry. Several artists who could not travel welcomed interviews by students via email. Fourth and fifth graders from one elementary school, for example, questioned DeLoss McGraw on a gamut of topics from the traditional "what inspired you to be an artist" to "how do you make your paintings seem to glow?" A number of artists were brought to Tallahassee through community organizations. For example, Sidney Scher on the left came to Tallahassee through the efforts of the Florida Society of Goldsmiths. Faith Ringgold, the internationally known artist on the right, was brought to Tallahassee by Tallahassee's Council on Culture and Arts. So, over a 3-year period, expenses came to under $13,500 for this project. The bulk of that money went to the catalog and to busing children to the museum, both provided by a grant from the Council on Culture and Arts. Many events and materials were donated to this project. Here we see two artists who interacted with students in the museum itself. On the left is Jack Dowd, who created an installation called Future of America 2, in which a resin-molded middle school skateboarder sailed over an actual garbage can. He invited a middle school classroom into the museum to watch him put up his installation and take questions. You can see the students in the bottom right. In the upper right, we see Wenny Huang, a New York artist whose family emigrated from Taiwan to the United States. Her installation included 49 white paper conical Asian hats, which she used to honor her Asian American history. The night of the reception, she created a performance piece underneath the hats to further honor that heritage. The exhibition itself went from May 9th to July the 11th. During the reception, visitors to the museum would see the professional artists exhibition in the upstairs of the museum, the children's exhibition in the downstairs of the museum. Throughout the exhibition were make and take tables. There was a live jazz trio. There were children's dramatic readings by non-native English speakers. There was a book sale with artists signing books. And there was a performance piece, as we've already seen, by artist Wenny Huang. Here we see the parallel student display. The exhibition of the students was hung salon style, as you can see, and there were over 600 students who participated K through 12. The tours of the exhibition were developed in part by university students. All the tours were designed to be hands-on, interactive. Most participating schools for this project utilized these tours as a culminating event for their students. The only complaint from the students was indicative of their reactions. "Can't we stay longer?" Teacher workshops for this project were meant to facilitate school-wide writing goals, language arts goals, and reading goals. They were also meant to encourage classroom teacher participation in the project. Authors, illustrators, and visual artists were used as presenters. The lesson plan packet and catalog for this project are available online. Go to www.mofa.fsu.edu, click on Learn, click on Exhibition-Related Resources, and then click on The Story. Thank you so much.